Hello there, everyone. I'm Aaron St. Dennis, the FF Mad Scientist, and welcome to the Mad Science Lab podcast. Today, we're continuing with the My Thoughts on My Team series, and here to break down the Tennessee Titans will be Jill Bijolle. Jill, thank you for joining me. It's a pleasure to have you.
Of course, I'm impressed. You got the last name right.
I cheated. I heard you and Aaron talking the other day. See, I thought of it more like European, and I was going Bijolle, and like I was going all Italian with it. And then I heard you say Bijolle, and I'm like, oh well.
Yeah,
There's the little, yeah,
I don't know. It's I know it's French.
yeah.
A descent. Could not tell you how it's really truly pronounced. So I just go with what I think sounds right.
I can relate to that. Mine is Saint. It's spelt Saint Denis, but French ancestry. But everyone says Saint Denis, so to hell with it. I guess it's Saint Denis. We ignore the way it's spelt. So, yeah. But like I said, to be fair, I cheated. I heard you and Aaron talking, and you introduced yourself, so I cheated. I didn't know how to say it. So,
all good. I take it. I accept the cheat.
Well, it's a pleasure having you. Thanks for joining me.
Of course. Thank you for having me on.
Would you like to take a second here? Tell everyone where they can find your work.
Yeah, absolutely. So handle right down below at It's Jill Bijolle. And like him and I were just talking, last name's a little difficult, so I made it nice and easy across all platforms, and that's where you'll find me, and you can come hang out.
I was looking through, was it Instagram? Where do you and Aaron do your videos? Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram, yeah.
Instagram? That's what it was. I was scrolling through some of your Instagram photos. You don't have kids, do you?
No, I have dogs.
No, your Instagram, you look like you're going far too many places and having far too much fun. I'm like, that's a woman who doesn't have kids yet.
Yeah, not in the plans for me. I enjoy my freedom, but I also enjoy working far more than.
Yeah. I look through the photos and I'm like, oh, is that Vegas? Is that California? I'm going, oh, if only I didn't have kids. Anyway, we've gotten off track here. It's more entertaining than what we're about to talk about. And with that wonderful segue, let's transition into this dumpster fire of a mess. That would be the Tennessee Titans.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah. There is a quarterback situation. I guess that's the best way of describing it. We have alleged starter Ryan Tannehill with backups Malik Willis and Will Levis. I don't know what to make of this. Any one of them could be starting week 1. Any one of them could be starting week 17. I don't particularly think any of them have much value this year in redraft. I own Will Levis in a couple of dynasties. I think I have Malik Willis on a taxi squad. And maybe Ryan Tannehill is a backup quarterback or a third QB in a super flex league. Not much to see here. What do you think?
Yeah. Honestly, the whole situation is super weird to me. It was smart of them to pick up a quarterback. Ryan Tannehill is aging, and let's be real, his career hasn't been all that astounding throughout Miami and Tennessee. It's a weird one to me that they went after Will Levis. Levis. I keep wanting to add an N to his last name. After just getting Malik Willis, it clearly shows to me that they went after Levis and they're giving up on Willis. Like I think I would expect to see Levis in QB2 slot and Willis becoming a QB3. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And you nailed it perfectly. I think the starting week 1 quarterback is going to be completely different than the starting week 17 quarterback.
They all might start at some point. I tell you though, saying Malik Willis, Will Levis, oh my God, that's when I let off, I said Ryan Tannehill, and then I said Malik Willis, Will Levis. I thought to myself, did I say those right? Did I blend 2 names together? It was Malik Willis Levis. Anyways, we've wasted too much time on this dumpster fire quarterback room. Moving on to I guess a better running back room. The bar wasn't set all that high, but we have the aging superstar Derrick Henry, who they are going to ride until the wheels fall off, unless they trade him first. Michigan man Hassan Haskins, who I thought was all right in Michigan, nothing special. My Twitter sweetheart, who's I had to drop yesterday after a rookie draft, Julius Chestnut, RIP, it just hasn't happened. I was on him all year. I stashed him on every taxi squad. It just didn't work out. And then we have the man with no ACL, Tyjae Spears. This is a scary looking running back room. What are your thoughts?
I love Derrick Henry. First and foremost, just on a watching entertaining football level, in all levels of football, I love Derrick Henry. I unfortunately think he has carried this Titans team for far too long. And I think this upcoming season is not going to be one of his most productive. I think they are going to rely on him far too much, especially with that quarterback room being what it is. And I foresee a similar kind of last year where there was some games he looked his typical self, but seemed like there was a lot more games where it was not that typical Derrick Henry that we're used to seeing. And then as behind right now, they have Haskins is slated to be a lot of that third down, taking over the Dontrell Hillard position, which he is now gone. However, I foresee Haskins and not Hillard, Haskins and Spears. Wow, some of these names are just tongue twisters together.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
To be competing on who is going to be overtaking that third down running back position.
Yeah, I could tell you, going back, I could watch that Derrick Henry. Is it stiff arming Josh Norman? Is that the one I could watch that over and over again because I don't think anyone likes Josh Norman. But the scariest notion is the aging and recently injury plagued Derrick Henry is still probably healthier than the rookie. I'm not sure how that's possible. That's a scary notion. This is one where in like a Scott Fishbowl league where it's deep and there's really no waiver wire or a best ball, I might take a shot with one or two of these rookies at some point in different leagues, just imagining that, someone's going to go down to injury. This might be a Ravens situation where Derrick Henry goes down, then Tyjae Spears goes down, and we end up with Hassan Haskins and Julius Chestnut splitting this backfield for the last half of the season. This is a truly scary looking team on every level.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And, I don't ever want to bash my guy, Derrick Henry. I call him, he's the modern day refrigerator in my eyes. But I truly think this is going to be a very big season that reflects his age. And I don't wish it and I don't want to see it, but I would not be surprised to see a multi-game injury that he is out for a stint.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's the 26-year-old and over backs. Like what is Henry, Kamara, Cook? There's six of them. I haven't named all of them, but 3 of the 6 are going to fall off the cliff this year. You just hope if you draft Henry, you hope he's not one of the 3.
I agree.
And then if he doesn't, you try to sell him next year. But it's a scary situation. Yep. This wide receiver room, I'm pretty sure you're number 2 on the depth chart. Yeah, it's you. You're the number 2 receiver. You're probably going to lead the team in targets, just so you know.
They haven't called me just yet, but if they do, I'll take a paycheck. So I'm putting that out there, Tennessee. I enjoy Nashville. I'll go do a stint up there for them.
Ooh, that's right, Nashville. I forget Nashville's where that's. I like Nashville. I could do that.
It's a really cool stadium. I highly recommend for anyone if you haven't been, whether or not you're a Titans fan, to go. Super cool atmosphere, really cool stadium. Aside from the point of the actual team. They will be getting a new one. So in a couple of years, hopefully we get a really good team, new stadium.
That's awesome. The stadium's great. Just ignore the team.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, this wide receiver core is atrocious. Treylon Burks, who, I think everyone had a lot more hopes, and he really didn't show up last year. But I also want to give him a little bit of a pass last season. Yeah. Well, on top of injuries, I look at quarterbacks that weren't sustainable, and I foresee that happening again this season. So I don't think I would point a finger necessarily at Burks. It's more of the situation that Burks is put into. And then again, I'm looking at their other wide receivers. There's nothing that stands out to me. There's nothing that's exciting.
No, that's an understatement. We've got Chris Moore, Kyle Phillips, who maybe everyone thought had some potential, Westbrook Akine, who's had a game or two of flex worthy, Racey McMath, Reggie Roberson. I have some hope for Treylon Burks. I mean, I guess a quarterback situation in which Joshua Dobbs is your starter probably can't, be held against him. So maybe there's some potential there. Maybe even, who was it? I seen an interview with Chig, and they were talking about possibly drafting a receiver, and he said, "You're not going to believe how good Kyle Phillips is." So maybe Kyle Phillips is on the bottom of my radar in deeper leagues, but that's a dart throw at best, I think.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, they did only do Colton Dowell, the one wide receiver that they drafted out of their their 6 offensive draft picks.
I didn't even include it. That's how much it means.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation. I mean, Aaron and I have said this when we have briefly talked about the Titans. They're getting a new stadium in a few years. I think the best thing at this point to do is completely just blow it all up and completely start fresh going forward. And yeah, this wide receiver core basically just exudes that to me.
This whole team is ugly. All right, we'll go to tight end here with Chigo Okonkwo, one of the the surprises in his rookie year, and Josh Wiley, the rookie out of, I want to say Cincinnati, but I think that's wrong. Is it Cincy? Oh, yep. All right. There's so many of these darn tight ends that came out of the draft this year. Chig is a mystery to me. He looked really good. He looked like he could be useless. I don't know if the profile's there. He's a bit small, I believe, if I recall, for a tight end. I love him. I own him in a few leagues. I don't know if he's going to be what everyone thinks he's going to be. He's kind of like the tight end version of George Pickens for me. He had some really good flashes, but I don't know if he's as good as everyone's making him out to be. I hope he is.
I'm with you. I think I also look at a Titans team that I feel like they haven't really utilized tight ends. It's never seemed to be a going position that they've utilized. They've, especially in the last few years, it's really only ever been Derrick Henry. Unfortunately, I hate to call it out, but that team has been Derrick Henry. So I'm excited to see, obviously, with the aging of Derrick Henry and trying to revamp this team, the more use of tight ends. Tight ends are my favorite. I want to get a t-shirt made that says I heart tight ends. I think he's going to be better than expected, but I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, he's the best player, best tight end. I think he will be one of the better players on the Titans, but that's not saying much.
So completely ignoring the tight end room here, back to what you said, in this world of cancel culture, you're going to walk around with a shirt that says I heart tight ends?
Yes.
Let me know how that works out for you.
Yes, I will. I'll keep you posted.
So this roster is terrible. I didn't realize how bad it was until we've broken it down. And it's just, this is going to be a truly difficult one based on what you expect ADP to eventually be. Currently, I use Underdog Best Ball ADP. Is there anyone on this roster you think might be a bargain that you'd want to target? Derrick Henry, maybe, just because he's going to come at such a discount for the age? Ride it one more time?
I would say Derrick Henry, and especially too, if you're in a league where you do hold on, you're able to get him and hold on to him. If there is talks of him going on to other teams next season, because of course one of the big ones being Philadelphia, I think you could still get a couple of years of use out of him. But I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be amazing use. Out of anyone else on that team,
Burks?
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah,
hope the quarterback situation is better.
I agree. I think Burks is going to stay with Tennessee for some time, and you just hope that he can finally get a good quarterback leading him. I think Burks has the potential. So you know what? I'll go with the final answer of outside of Derrick Henry is Burks.
This is going to be a much easier question. Who would you like to avoid?
Everyone.
Everyone. Okay. Everyone not named Henry?
Everyone not named Henry and Burks, I think, would be just avoiding for the time being.
I think my key right now, one to avoid, would be Tyjae Spears. I know going into the NFL draft, I had Spears and Sean Tucker in a similar range. Then we found out both of them had a serious medical issue. Tucker went from the beginning of the second round to I got him in the 5th round yesterday, or undrafted. Spears is somehow holding his ADP. So despite the fact that they both have serious medical issues and probably a short career, there's no injury discount on Spears, so I'm not going to pay for him. I'm just out.
Yeah, and it's obviously, I think I look at, again, a running back room that is heavily utilized, and unfortunately for somebody that has medical issues, especially in the knees and or leg region, which is what your entirety of your job is using your legs, it's going to be a very short career. And not saying that, wishing it or hoping it, it's just an obvious statement putting it out there.
As we've spent all this time talking Derrick Henry and Tyjae Spears, I think I've been inspired to rekindle my relationship with Julius Chestnut. I think that's where it's going. I think I'm going to go get me some Julius Chestnut off the waiver wire and just wait. I'm a degenerate and I'm a sick glutton for punishment. Last one here. Is there a sleeper on this team? I mean, they're all going to be asleep all year for fantasy, but will any of them wake up?
Yeah.
The face you just made says it all.
The only thing I would think is Haskins, who again kind of talked about the fact that we can anticipate Derrick Henry having more limited exposure to the ball at points. So Haskins, I would hope, steps in.
That's what I was thinking. Haskins or Chestnut or both, whatever, in the event that someone will go down to injury. I guess maybe Levis, under the chance that maybe Tannehill sucks really bad or gets traded and they just say, screw it, let's give him a shot. But the final question, they finished 11th in the AFC last year. Where do you see them finishing this year in the division? And 7-10 last year, over, under, or the same 7 wins? So division finish and over under 7 wins.
Ooh, okay. I mean, that division
you can throw up. That's an acceptable answer.
That division is it's such an odd division. That's actually the only word I would use to describe that division is odd.
It's all rookie QBs and Trevor Lawrence.
But I love the Jaguars. I was high on them last year. I'm excited to see them this season. Obviously, to me, I think Jags take number 1 spot. I'm high on the Texans, as weird as it is. So I think I would potentially go for a Texans and Titans fighting it out for that 3rd place spot. I would think Titans finish 3rd. The Colts, 2 wild card for me. I think they're on paper. There's a lot of hope, and I want the Colts to be good. I don't know why there's some weird thing. I want to see the Colts be successful. I don't think this is going to be this year for them.
I think Jacksonville should run away with this. Everyone else could finish 2nd to 4th. This is going to be like the NFC South. Nobody knows what the hell's going to happen. But okay, 7 wins. Under. It's got to be under, probably. Although, to be fair, they won 7 games, and how many of those had Josh Dobbs starting?
Wasn't it 2, I think?
Oh, was it only 2? Did he win those? I don't remember. I selectively blocked that out from my memory.
Yeah, it wasn't, a moment to really keep track of. Yeah. I want to say he started 2 games is like what my memory gives.
Too many.
I think I'm going to say, my gut tells me to say the same, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does go under, but probably only by like 1 game. Because I do have to remember and look at it. That division is weird. So I could very much see Tennessee pulling out a couple of wins.
You're expecting Derrick Henry to carry them for a little bit longer from the sounds of it, because there's no way 7 wins without him not happening.
Again, the beginning of the season, last year they were that way. Beginning of the season played really good and then fell off. So I expect to see a similar pattern.
You know what I would be interested in? To look at the schedule. When do they play Houston and Indy? If they get the 2 rookie quarterbacks twice in the early half of the season, they've got a chance. If they wait and they play them at the end when they figured it out, that might be 4 wins right out the door. So I think that would really sway me. Some early matchups, Tannehill against a rookie quarterback in his 1st or 2nd start, maybe they pull it out. But
yeah, I agree with you. However, again, Texans, there's something that I love about this team. Now, they're not going to the Super Bowl. They're not going to be champions. But there's something about this team. I think there'll be some flashes, and they're going to surprise some people.
Excellent. Well, Jill, thank you for joining me. You want to take one more chance here? Tell everyone where they can find you?
Of course. Again, handle down below. It's Jill Bijolle. Again, I get it. Complicated name. Nice and easy. You can find me across all platforms there. And like I said, started out this show, come hang out with me in those places.
All righty. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you, even though it wasn't a pleasure talking Tennessee Titans. Ugh, gross. You should have just picked your own favorite team. This one was gross. What's your
I can
team?
only talk about the Patriots so much, and I'm sure people are tired of talking about the Patriots, unfortunately.
Gotcha. I don't know if that one's much better.
No, it's really, at this rate, no, it's not.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining me. This has been my thoughts on the Tennessee Titans with Jill Bijolle. I am Aaron St. Dennis, the FF Mad Scientist. Thank you, everyone, for watching the Mad Science Lab podcast. Take care.